we already know these are good size beans, so I'm not looking for size. I'm just looking for all the defects, all the physical defects that we could have in these. Okay, finished with this, and now we have here a few defects, a few squashed beans, probably from poor depulper calibration. I think you can see that there. A few nicked beans, also likely from poor depulper calibration. A few broca beels just in the points of the beans, but not a lot of damage. I think in this sample there was one black bean, so group 1 defect, much more serious, but nothing that a pass through the color sorter wouldn't take out for us. So it's a very good quality green coffee, parchment coffee that is, so it would not be any problem at all to get a very high grade green coffee out of this. So let's find out exactly how much. Now we have 212 grams of no, here's one more. They always seem to find 1 or 2 more, even when you've been through it many times. Still 212. So from 273 to 221, now 212 grams of defect-free green coffee. So let's do a little bit of math here. 212 divided by 273 is 77.66%. That's a good yield factor, but here in Colombia the way we look at it is how many kilos of parchment it takes us to make one bag of 70 kilos of green coffee. So we're going to take 70 divided by 0.7766. That gives us a yield factor of 90.14. Very good. Average quality, that's at par pricing, is 92.8 kilos of parchment to make one bag of green coffee. So this is better. This would command a premium price because of the high physical quality. Because what we're really interested in purchasing is not parchment, but the high quality green coffee that we can get out of it. Now the last step in our physical analysis process, we need to measure the moisture content. We have yield factor, but if the moisture content is high, sometimes that can inflate the yield factor a little bit. Yield factor again is basically how much healthy green coffee we can get from a certain amount of parchment coffee. So when the moisture content is high, the shells are just as dry as always, but the beans inside them are more wet, therefore more dense, and they weigh more, so that can make it seem like the yield factor is much higher than it would be had the beans been as dry as possible. We don't want too high moisture content, one because we're not even allowed to export it that way, and two because it will stimulate bacteria growth and then a premature spoilage of our green coffee. So we're going to put it in here. It's best not to touch the beans themselves You need it to be just up to the top of the meter here, of the little cup inside the meter. And get this to the pressure that it needs to be. We actually get quite a lot of samples with very high moisture content, too high. The limit to export out of Colombia is 12.5%, but we try not to work with anything over 11.5%. 10.5 to 11% is what we like to see. Some people go even lower than that, but we find you can develop some like dry straw, dry leaf notes if it's too low, such as below 10%, which also happens. But more than anything, it's too high because the weather sometimes makes it really difficult to get it down further, and many farmers don't have the drying infrastructure to properly get that moisture content down evenly a lot of the time. And it looks like this sample is not where it should be. This is at 12.5%, which is exactly the legal limit. And in the process of dry milling, packing, sending to port, if it were to increase even 0.1%, we would not be allowed to export it. Not that we would anyway. So luckily, we still have some time before the main part of the harvest, so we can let these guys know that this won't do. And we get it down a little bit more for us to be able to work together. The last thing we want is for the farmers to bring this coffee down to the town to give it to us at the dry mill and then have to reject it because transportation is very expensive to the dry mill, back from the dry mill, and we have nowhere to get that moisture content down further if we need to. So there's really nothing we can do. It's a lose-lose for everyone at that point, so really important to take care of these problems ahead of time. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you liked the video and hope you might have learned something from this explanation of the coffee analysis process, which we do for every sample that comes to our mailbox here in Bogota. Please let us know what you think in the comments, and let us know if there are any other topics you'd like us to cover in these videos. So if there's anything you're not sure about, we'd be happy to make a video to cover it, to make sure we're all informed of all the pieces and all the people and all the activities that have to come together to make specialty coffee work. If you'd like to know more about what we're doing with the Smallholder Coffee Growers Collective here in Colombia and in Honduras, please visit directororigin.com. There's plenty of information on there, or email me personally at Karl, K-A-R-L, @directororigin.com. We're also working on a book demystifying the coffee value chain and explaining some of the sustainability initiatives that are out there right now, called No Free Refills. If you want to learn more about that, you can just go to nofreerefillsbook.com. Thank you.